There are moments when the world doesn't work the way it should. People vanish, time stops, and objects move as if gravity doesn't exist. It's like reality suddenly malfunctions. In today's video, we'll explore some of the most unbelievable glitches in the Matrix ever caught on camera. While waiting at a traffic stop in San Francisco, California, a recorder caught a bizarre moment on camera where a man appeared and was crossing the road until he suddenly disappeared out of the blue. He never appears on the left side of the vehicle by vanishing and leaving the source puzzled and confused. Could this have been some illusion, or did the man actually glitch out and disappear? Phasing out of existence. During a live SABC news broadcast in Mbombela, South Africa, the recording camera caught a disappearing act. While taking a statement, a hunched-over old lady appeared in the background, walking towards an iron gate, until she suddenly phased out and disappeared. Initially, this was thought to be some camera glitch, but since nothing else weird happened anywhere around, left many thinking that this could actually have happened for real, although it was unknown if it was by will or enforced.
See the lady now. Live news. She disappeared. Clean. Live news.
Frozen in motion. This happened in Wales, England, where a driver who was heading to his friend's place discovered this frozen pedestrian. At first, he thought of him being some kind of street performer, but considering his very uncomfortable body stance, started to realize that this man was actually frozen from or by unknown causes. The driver stood at a distance using only the zooming of his camera to get a look at the frozen man, looking for answers, until several minutes later he left. Ghost car ran in. After a traffic stop had opened during the early hours on the streets of Voronezh, Russia, a driver, despite following the rules, ran into something powerful and invisible at the same time. A CCTV camera facing that street caught the entire moment, where nothing visible was seen to be present or anywhere around the road. Similarly, several more such incidents were reported in areas not too far from each other, leaving the possibility that all these were connected. However, apart from defining this as possibly linked to ghost entities, there remains no other explanation. Levitating car. In Japan's Sapporo City, a bystander noticed a very weird spectacle of a vehicle that was almost upside down. At first, he thought the vehicle could be hanging down from the tree after a tragic series of events. But after noticing that it was spinning around randomly and not caught up in the tree anyway, rather, it was levitating. With no visible damage on the vehicle, it looks like this wasn't something out of the ordinary, but was done on purpose. The mystery behind who did it, how, and why seems to remain a mystery. Reverse effect. A group of adventure seekers who were touring the wilderness of Haymarket, Scotland, where they observed a weirdly occurring phenomenon. Just as one of them would gather a bunch of branches and throw them off the cliff, instead of the gravity acting on them and falling, these branches would fall back towards and onto them. This followed several times, even before they decided to record this clip and later shared it on TikTok, seeking answers to the unbelievable moment. Error walking. A couple on a skiing adventure in Girdwood, Alaska, while collecting a memory with a camera, noticed something that they first thought was weird, but it actually was odd. A man who was walking down a hilly slope seemed to have come to a halt despite continuously walking at the same pace. At first, it seemed like the man was doing it on purpose, with the ice being very slippery on that spot, but the visible body language of the man made it seem more like it was a glitch or an error, much like a runtime error. Hovering tree trunk. Up in the sky of San Bernardino, California, an early morning jogger on June 17, 2025, noticed a large portion of a tree that was aerial. Despite its size and weight, that didn't seem to be an issue with it being suspended in the sky while being moved back and forth in the not-too-high sky. Being curious, the bystander decided to follow its point of dropping once it did. He discovered this. Much of the tree was separated from its base and was hovering a foot above the ground. How all this happened, if this is something natural or a glitchy phenomenon, no one knows. Beach freeze. During an early morning drive along an unnamed beach in Sydney, Australia, on February 8th, the driver encountered a bizarre sight. Two dogs walking along the sand seemed to freeze suddenly, as if petrified, remaining motionless, as if time had stopped. It remains unclear whether a nearby bystander caused the dogs to freeze, or was simply making a stop to observe them from much closer, out of curiosity. Could this be the result of a spell? A glitch in the making? Or perhaps the dogs were acting on command of this bystander? No one knows the exact details here.
Oh, those dogs are so
Have you
creepy.
seen? It's like a Matrix glitch.
Street NPC. A passerby captured a clip dated 7th December 2025 of a young man standing by a wall, facing a trash can somewhere on the premises of Oxford University. Strikingly, he remained completely still, without the slightest movement while breathing. He appears human, yet could be hypnotized, possessed, or petrified to maintain such a rigid stance for hours. It seems non-player characters aren't confined to video games. They might exist in real life too. Disappeared man. While relaxing with friends by the backyard pool, a random incident of disappearance occurred. An Instagram upload dated September 28, 2025 captured a bizarre moment when a man jumped from a diving board onto an inflatable bed and vanished as quickly and cleanly as if he had stepped into a portal. The clip ended abruptly, presumably as the bystander behind the camera began to panic. Since no future video or information is shared by the source, not much is known about what may have exactly happened here. Rotating tree. Passing through Marlborough, New Zealand, a driver filmed a weird moment upon noticing a tree that was rotating continuously, knowing the fact that with roots extending deep and wide into the earth, it would hold a tree firmly into the ground. Restricting it from even the slightest movement is what makes this unbelievable. With no overflowing of water or loose ground, the only possibly sane explanation left here is that someone designed an infrastructure below and around the tree with its entire root ball and is now rotating it. Invisible mirror. While commuting on a subway train in New York City, a passenger noticed a young woman who was busy with herself and her makeup while staring into an empty hand as if there was a mirror in her grasp. Seeing her being focused and giving undivided attention to her hand could easily leave any sane person second-guessing if she was actually holding a mirror that is either too small to see or perhaps invisible. Her tightly clenched hand suggested she was gripping something invisible. The shape was visible in the manner of how her fingers were wrapped around it. Standing on water. A video taken from back in February 2018 shows a viral moment where a man standing on water left the entire crowd puzzled. Clip starts from him walking down the harbor and stepping into the water without having to fall inside. The moment immediately got every bystander's attention within that area, with everyone filming. He briefly managed to stay afloat on top of a deep water body for several minutes before the authorities arrived on the scene and arrested him. Since then, not much is known about the man, nor how he pulled off this unbelievable stunt. Single spot precipitation. Moving down a street in London, a bystander noticed a fall of water on a specific spot. Now, this wasn't the cause of a leaking water tank or a pipe from the roof of a building. Rather, it was the effect of a downpour that surprisingly was occurring only within a specific spot. This single spot precipitation, according to the source, lasted for several minutes, keeping its cause a total mystery. Glitching cat. Shopkeepers in Shanghai's old neighborhoods noticed something very weird going on. He decided to record a video dating March 25th, 2018, where a cat that was just outside his shop was stationary despite it was making efforts to move. The cat almost seemed to be in a kind of hypnosis, where after nearly a minute of passage, it actually moved around when someone passed by, before it once again returned to its glitching walk. It almost seemed as if the cat were walking on a treadmill with undivided attention. Midair dog. In this clip, a bystander tending to his backyard noticed something truly bizarre. A dog of unknown breed was more than a foot above the ground, staring directly at the person recording. From it being completely frozen to what looks like it was levitating as well, it started to give off a spooky vibe that was leaving him uneasy. The source later shared the unbelievable footage on Facebook online, garnering attention overnight, with some speculating that the dog had climbed the tree out of fear and may have been traumatized here. Tanker above horizon. A crewman aboard a fishing trawler off the coast of Paphos, Cyprus, was carrying out his routine duties when he noticed something unusual on July 28, 2025. An oil tanker appeared on the horizon, heading toward the dock, but strangely, it seemed to be hovering above the water rather than sailing normally. At first, it was thought to be the effect of the mirage that was blurring the water surrounding this tanker, creating the effect of the Fata Morgana. Bambi glitch. At first glance, this might seem like just another case of a birth deformity some animals are born with, but not quite. While out for a round of golf on the 24th of October, 2023, one of the players spotted a young deer moving and grazing nearby Bay Hill in Orlando, Florida. Strangely, two distinct heads were clearly visible, each facing opposite directions. But just seconds later, as the deer shifted, one of the heads vanished completely, as if it had never been there at all. Eerie sight left the person recording utterly baffled.
Two-headed deer. It's incredible. How is it still alive?
Glass illusion. The following video was recorded by a customer waiting at a bank who began filming after noticing something unusual. Sitting just behind the glass door entrance, he could almost see two different vehicles on a single park spot just by curving to a different angle. What made it even worse was that both the cars seemed to be parked so perfectly that the shift of angles would make it look like the vehicle color, make and model would change back and forth. The cause of this could certainly not be due to glass. Something bigger is at play here. Horse freeze. On April 29, 2025, in Buenos Aires province, Argentina, a woman glanced outside during a heavy downpour to check on her horses, expecting to see them safely taking shelter. While expecting them to be either grazing outside or returning to their stables, instead, she froze in disbelief when she saw her horses standing perfectly still.
Actively raining. My horses are frozen in time. It's scorching the making.
4 or 5 horses stood perfectly motionless, some caught mid-step as if frozen in time. There was little to no twitching, not even the slightest flinch. Each one was locked in place like a statue, as though time itself had come to a standstill.
It's shelter. It's shelter. I think they're frozen.
Moving wax figure. A man who was visiting the exhibition at a museum in Guadalajara, Mexico on the 23rd of May, 2025, he had a spooky encounter. The wax statue was dedicated to a woman known as Maria Sabina, where he noticed an insanely realistic wax-made statue that was on display. While he was standing and reading her biography next to the wax-made statue, where within a minute, the head of the figure suddenly shifted, immediately spooking him. Now, despite the museum being an open and busy place, this wax figure seems to have a strong paranormal influence as it was able to defy the matter that it was made of. Red sky. 2 tourists exploring Wuhan, China on June 3, 2025 were left in utter disbelief at what they were caught in. A cloudy sky that all of a sudden turned completely red all of a sudden.
Yo, we are straight up, oh my god.
While everyone thought the natural explanation of this would be due to a natural phenomenon, some believe that this was due to artificial lights, such as those from boats or coastal ports. Warm-toned lights reflect off clouds, fog, or mist, scattering through the atmosphere. Combined with haze or pollution, this can create a vivid reddish glow, mimicking natural sunset or sunrise effects.
This is really dangerous. Oh my god.
Pausing nature. In the wilderness of the Asturias region in northern Spain, a man made a bizarre observation of nature's reaction every time he'd play his flute. He decided to record a moment on camera where, as he played the flute, the leaves around him suddenly became still, as if the music had the power to quiet the wind itself. If not nature's attention towards him. Only a few viewers were convinced that the sound genuinely influenced nature, while most dismissed it as a mere coincidence. However, some remained open to other possibilities. Phantom glitch. A bizarre incident captured on the night of August 11th, 2025 by a woman named Lizzie on her Ring camera is being called one of the strangest real-time glitches ever recorded in Compton, California. At around 8:41 p.m., two women claiming to be missionaries appeared at her door. Lizzie didn't open it and instead spoke to them through the camera. In the initial footage, both women were seen wearing pink dresses of a distinct style, but in a subsequent clip, their outfits appeared entirely different. Different colors, patterns, and even styles.
It is freaking creepy. 8:41, somebody knocks on the door, and then check out their outfits.
They're wearing two different dresses from what they were wearing.
As they stepped closer to the porch, the dresses seemed to change instantaneously, not as a trick of lighting, but as if their clothing had transformed in real time. Whether it was a camera malfunction, something unexplained, or something else entirely remains a mystery.
We literally just saw them and they were wearing...
And go fast forward, it changes color. Watch, go fast
Right
forward.
as soon as they
Right
get over there out of our porch.
What the is this?
Bowing bird. In July 2025, a serene and unexpected moment was captured on camera in Itaju, Brazil, during a quiet time of prayer. At the chapel of Our Lady the Queen and Mother, 3 times Admirable of Schoenstatt, a calopsita was seen bowing deeply with its wings gracefully spread before a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary, which was adorned with a holy rosary. The striking scene quickly spread online, with many viewers describing it as a gesture of reverence, almost as if nature itself recognized the sanctity. The bird's graceful posture left countless people moved, and the footage soon went viral, touching hearts around the world. Freezing flock. A woman was stunned to find her chickens completely frozen in place while walking through her coop on February 25th, 2025.
It's grab time! What the... Why are they all not moving?
Moments earlier, they had been moving about normally, but suddenly they all stopped at once, leaving her alarmed and confused.
What's happening right now? Chickies!
The unsettling scene was captured on TikTok, showing the birds standing motionless and triggering a flood of online speculation. While some viewers interpreted the moment as a possible glitch in reality, others offered a natural explanation, suggesting the chickens had detected a predator and instinctively froze to avoid being noticed.
Did I do something?
Passing bars. While it's normally almost impossible for a baby to squeeze through the bars of a baby gate, this little one proved it otherwise.
And now this... How?
A parent, casually filming a sweet moment with their infant, was stunned when the child calmly walked through the narrow bars as if they weren't even there. The gaps were far too tight for a baby, making the scene almost unbelievable. Yet, judging by how smoothly and confidently the infant slipped through, it seemed this wasn't the first time such an escape had happened, leaving the parents both amazed and unsettled.
Okay, wait right there, baby. Daddy's gonna be right back, okay? And now this... How?
Airport disappearance. A sudden disappearance at the busy LAX airport left witnesses stunned. Amid the usual chaos of the luggage screening line, a man vanished without explanation. The woman standing behind him screamed, pointing to the space where he had just been. His bag lay untouched on the floor, yet he was gone. Airport security reviewed every nearby CCTV feed, but no footage showed him walking away or leaving. He simply vanished. It was as if he had been erased from reality in front of the crowd. Some speculate he may never have been human, while others fear an unseen, otherworldly force took him. Frozen in time. In the Cotswolds, south-central England, a couple experienced a strange and unsettling moment while out walking their dogs on November 13th, 2022. As they moved along the path, both suddenly froze in place for no clear reason. The surrounding area was calm, with only the bushes shifting slightly in the breeze. Yet their dogs also became completely still and unresponsive. According to the couple, the dogs remained frozen for nearly 4 minutes before snapping out of it when a bird unexpectedly flew across their path. Shocked and confused, they later shared the footage on social media, hoping someone could explain what had happened.
I couldn't believe it. You could see the leaves moving and all the bushes, but the dogs were completely still.
Strange black smoke. Students from a school that shall remain undisclosed in Daly City, California, witnessed a strange black smoke that started coming out midday from the roof. The very thick and static smoke made it clear on the spot that it wasn't coming from something that could be burning. The students recorded the spectacle, being curious about what this could be. According to some paranormal investigators, this looked much like a gin smoke, but the mystery remains unsolved as no paranormal activity was recorded shortly after this black smoke disappeared. City in sky. Up in the skies of Acapulco, Mexico, residents could see not one, but multiple buildings appearing from behind the clouds. This couldn't have been possible, as according to the recorder, the area directly below it was the sea. At the same time, this couldn't be an optical illusion due to the visible reflecting glare coming from the windows of these buildings. These tall buildings were reported to have never been seen before. This narrows the possibilities to two equally astonishing explanations. It could either be an open portal in the sky or a bold stunt orchestrated by extraterrestrials. Resisting gravity. A TikTok user at ruben.v.irs was witnessing the cleaning and service of an aquarium when something very bizarre and unexplained happened. The clip, dated March 13th, 2024, captures a striking moment. As water was drained from an aquarium, a fish inside appeared completely unaffected, seemingly defying gravity. Even as the environment shifted from the buoyancy of water to open air, gravity mysteriously still seemed to have no effect on the fish. Now it gets worse as another fish from within the water was able to jump out of the water and defy gravity. Some viewers believe that it could very possibly be that a strong gush of air was acting against these fish as the only possible explanation. Underwater something. Even though there is a lot that lives inside the water that we can never expect to know about, sighting of whatever this was is quite concerning. On 7th October 2025, a man who was touring the island of Menorca in the Mediterranean Sea, where he started noticing a weird being or phenomenon of something huge and bright that appeared to be reaching the surface only to disappear seconds later, before repeating the same soon after. This happened several times around the island, as if it were waiting for the recorder before it unanimously disappeared. Changing file covers. This clip dates back to March 2020 during the coronavirus lockdown, when a bizarre moment involving then British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak was caught live on Sky News. While he was speaking, the folder in his hand appeared to change color on camera, sparking widespread debate.
Critical year for tackling climate change. How much will coronavirus impact what many believed would be a green budget?
Since the footage came from a reputable news agency, many viewers began speculating about a possible glitch in the Matrix, while others dismissed it as a technical error or visual trick. Regardless of the explanation, the moment remains a strangely captivating piece of live television.
Critical year for tackling climate change. How much will coronavirus impact what many believed would be a green budget?
Staring dog. Not too deep into a forest in Wellston, Michigan, a passerby discovered a small open cargo container with a dog chained to it. As random and weird as this was, it got even weirder when the dog, instead of barking or showing any kind of verbal or physical reaction, was just staring calmly at the passerby. Now, considering that a dog is one of the most vocal among all other domesticated animals, let alone makes this encounter even more bizarre as well as terrifying. What do you think is going on here? Do share with us your opinion down in the comments. Weird flame. A TikTok user in Chile captured a very weird and unscientific phenomenon on camera that left him puzzled. It showed a flame on a desert bush when filmed through his vehicle's window, but when he pointed the camera directly without the glass in between, the bush appeared completely flame-free. The TikToker checked again and rechecked, but the same spectacle would follow, leaving him puzzled and curious for answers at the same time. The clip was later shared on social media, where much of the viewers were left scratching their heads. Appearing man. This security camera footage was taken from a warehouse of a courier company in Mesa, Arizona. In it, a very weird and bizarre-looking man appeared out of thin air as soon as one of the delivery vans passed by the recording camera and was starting the working staff. Considering how smoothly the van passed by the rules, out the possibility of this being some kind of glitch. Now, it also wouldn't be possible for him to have jumped off from the side of the van as it appeared, standing perfectly motionless. This leaves the scene of events mysterious, defying reality. Faulty mirror. A resting homeowner in Helena, Montana, took notice of a weird development that was reflecting on his mirror. He noticed the reflection that was visible on his mirror was that of an ongoing blizzard all around. But just as he'd look outside the window, directly would notice a clear summer sky.
It's so pretty.
It's raining really hard in the mirror.
It's all clear.
Oh my gosh.
This could be possible either with the mirror being some kind of portal, or perhaps this wasn't a mirror, rather a recording that was made to look quite realistic of the desired outcome. Turning sky. This one's pretty wild. A group of people walking down a residential street in Pennsylvania suddenly witnessed the sky begin to behave in a strange and unsettling way. They started recording as the glow of the sun in the sky turned on and off, as if it were a bulb in a room.
The sky blue! And then it turned off!
This weird, unexplained phenomenon started occurring after a gathering of dark rain clouds. The effect was so random that it started with only a handful of witnesses who got to notice. Moving ladder. Either this ladder had come to life or was under the influence of something paranormal. A house painter in Little Rock, Arkansas, returning from his lunch break, was stunned to find the ladder slowly moving away on its own. Shocked by the sight of a metal ladder in motion, he quickly captured the bizarre moment on camera. The cause remains a mystery, and while some may dismiss the idea of a supernatural force, even the most logical explanations seem to fall short. The sight of an inanimate object appearing to act with intent left everyone who saw the footage questioning what really happened.
Well, anyway, we have seen the ladder walk. I think we better go get it.
Demonstrated levitation. A mysterious girl uploaded a baffling video that quickly captured the internet's attention. In the footage, she wandered through an unknown location, appearing to search for something. Then, at a precise spot, she abruptly stopped and lifted her feet off the ground in what looked like real levitation. Even stranger, the stick in her hand began rising into the air on its own, as if controlled by an invisible force. The eerie moment was caught on camera, yet no one has managed to uncover her identity or explain the gravity-defying phenomenon she displayed, leaving viewers puzzled and intrigued. Shivering canine. Guard dogs are known for their fearlessness, so seeing one this terrified hinted at something truly unusual. A pet owner, upon waking, found her dog trembling and staring intensely at a corner of the room, completely unresponsive to calls or movement. No strange activity had ever been reported in the house, but the dog's reaction was undeniably unsettling. Some suggested it might have been triggered by an odd environmental anomaly, a sound, light distortion, or even some kind of unexplained glitch that only the dog could perceive. gone from existence. A little girl in Kansas City was playing with what appeared to be a toy stick and a Christmas ball while under the watch of her babysitter. The babysitter happened to be recording when, inexplicably, the Christmas ball vanished while the girl continued playing. The sudden disappearance left the babysitter shocked, wondering if it was some kind of strange glitch or an unexplainable anomaly. While the girl seemed only mildly confused, the incident sparked speculation. Some viewers jokingly suggested a possible paranormal cause, though it could just as easily be a mysterious case of something skipping reality. Open discussion. This photo and video were taken in July 2023 by a passerby on a street of Brazosport College in Lake Jackson, Texas, who was stunned to witness a young man dressed in costume and riding a broom eerily similar to something straight out of the fictional Harry Potter universe. To make sense of how he managed to pull off, the most realistic possibility could be that this was some kind of high-tech jetpack technology, if not an actual living miracle. The video has definitely reached its end. I will see you again with another wow video. Until then, you can check these other videos out for a wow dose of entertainment and knowledge.